Let's see if this stream is actually coming in, because I have no idea if this is working right now. I'm not seeing it appear yet. Let's do a refresh. No, I don't see it yet. I don't know if I'm on right now. I see stream health. Stream health is okay. I'm not seeing it appear in restream though. Dang. So I have no way to tell if I'm live now. One more refresh. Nope, not seeing anything. Can't check anything either. Okay. What is that? Okay, I am online. Wow, Restream does not show. No, Restream is not showing me. Yo, MIC, where are you seeing me? Please let me know on the WhatsApp. Testing something new, but if I can't see what I'm doing, it's gonna be a little bit weird. So let's see. What is this? Okay, so I can see that I'm on Twitch. That's one. So okay, so Twitch is working. I mean, that's cool and all, but I need my Restream chat to start working. Bing the DJ, what's going on? Gometti, what's going on? Whiskey Delta, what's going on? Okay. So I'm doing a test right now. I mean, this is Share the Knowledge Live, don't get me wrong, but I'm doing a test right now. And I'm streaming using my GoPro. So I'm using my GoPro and I'm streaming through my phone. Wanted to test that out. And let's see, DJ P Fu, what up? So, okay, Twitch is working. That's very cool. Get all this rubbish out of here. There's so much stuff laying around here. I need to do a little test though. I need to, that is MIC. So while we sit here, let me just plug this in my iPad. I want to hear the audio. And then I'm going to take a look and see what's happening on YouTube and Facebook. And then I'm going to take a look and see what's happening. So, I mean, we have audio. That's pretty clear. But I want to have that on my headphones for a second. Hear how it sounds. I have to do a quick check. First, I got to see if I'm in. Okay. I need to know if it's this mic or the GoPro. I got to see that for a second. That's a mad delay. Nope. It's that mic. You guys are hearing me through the GoPro. Okay, that's not bad though. But that means I can take this whole construction, get rid of that. I disconnected to my phone. I thought maybe it would take this audio. But to be honest, this microphone, the GoPro mic, isn't sounding too bad though. Okay. I'm gonna actually start up the laptop so I can do some moderating on Twitch. Yeah, basically it's not even it has a mic on top, but this is like a portable audio recorder. I use this a lot of times when I'm on the road for mixing. I'll connect this to a mixer, but it's also an audio interface. SQ Squad, I see you. Salute. All right, let me turn myself off. I was listening to the audio on my iPad, but there's like a 30-second delay. So I'm hearing what I'm saying like 30 seconds later. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, that is what I was waiting for. Restream is now starting the streaming monitor. Cool. Now the only thing I need to get working is the Restream chat, because then I don't have to look at all the different websites. And that makes everything a lot easier. Only thing I don't know is if I can actually leave the GoPro app while I'm working here. Damn. Ooh. I actually don't even want to risk that. I might have to. Maybe I can receive it on my phone. Anyways, as we try that, this is STK Live, Share the Knowledge Live, the DJ Q&A show every Wednesday on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, and I think I'm forgetting one platform right now. Now, since I'm not in the studio, I'm at home right now because we're still dealing with a curfew over here in the Netherlands, and anytime I stream until after the curfew, meaning that if I'm not home by then, I have to spend the night in the studio. I already did that on Monday. I have to do that again this Friday because I'm streaming again on Friday. I have another certified banger stream. So I wasn't really planning on sleeping in the studio 3 nights a week. Let's see if I can I get that here? So I'm checking 2 things, and otherwise I'll just, let me just start the laptop. I want to have a place where I can see all of the chat all together. I have no chat open right now. So once again, I'm testing this. I'm streaming through my GoPro. So the GoPro is connected to my phone, to the GoPro app. And this is streaming to Restream. So that part works. Cannot connect an external mic right now, so I'm using the mic on the GoPro, which isn't too bad in the current settings. There's not a lot of surrounding noise, so that's okay. Now all I need to do is get the Restream chat up. So let's quickly see if I have this app on this phone as well. I think I have to install one more thing. Nah, never mind. We'll see what we can do. I'm just going to open a couple of chats separately. It is what it is. And then we can get started. By the way, first off, if there's any Traktor users out there, received an email from Traktor or from Native Instruments saying that Traktor is now working with Big Sur. So that's cool for all the Mac users who wanted to update. That is what it said. So I think they're the first, because I think Serato and Rekordbox are not working yet. So Traktor is working. That's pretty cool. All right, I'm going to open Twitch. That's going to be the main one, and I'll open YouTube. So my apologies for not reading the chat right now. I have to set this up. And I basically just got in before I needed to start streaming. I was working in the studio. And then I have to get home in time because of this whole curfew thing. So yeah, we all have to deal with that. I mean, there's a lot of countries around the world that have curfews right now, as far as I know, what I've heard. So I don't know if there's a curfew where you live, but for a lot of us, that is happening right now. All right. Start it up. And for any crazy talk out there in the chat, I'm ending that in a second. So if you're joining us, you are very welcome. This is all about DJ related topics. So if it's not about that, this is not the place to be for you. All right, let that chat come in. THC, what's going on? Slit Lip, what's going on? Joshua Davis in the building, what's going on as well? All right, so Portugal, 7 p.m. on the weekdays, 6 p.m. in the weekends with the curfew. So we actually have a little bit better. It's, take this off again since this is not working. Since we have 9 p.m. 9 p.m. until 4:30 a.m. So that's, I mean, it's not terrible, but especially if you're working in the studio. So for example, when I'm working in the studio, a lot of times I might be working on a project or something I have to do that day, and I might have like 30 minutes left before I have to leave in order to get home in time. And if I'm not done with the project, then the choice is either stop working and not finish it, or maybe if it only takes me like an hour extra to finish it, that means I'll have to stay the entire night. Eli, what's going on? So yeah, that is what it is. Yeah, but slip tip, they do that all the time though. In movies, they'll use props and pretend it's something else. And then if you recognize the device, you're like, yo, that is not what that does in real life. Okay, so I can also see, maybe I can reactivate that if I'm only using this one. I'll see. Self-explanatory, what's going on? Salute to you as well. So share the knowledge live. Let's talk shop. Let's talk DJ. In the meantime, I'm gonna see. Okay, YouTube is working as well. Cool, that's good to see. So I'm opening that one, and I might open Facebook. Okay, this doesn't look too bad, honestly. I'm seeing it on a bigger screen right now. The GoPro is still set to 1080 and 60 frames. I am seeing like the jitter on the wall, and I know you can change that if you change the shutter time, but I can't really change settings in the camera right now. It is what it is. Gus Gomez, what's going on? So people on YouTube, I'm seeing y'all now. So Michael Mitnick, what's going on? Plezzy Mix, what's going on? Stu, Mel, Charles, G Styles, what's going on? What's going on? Chris on the mix, DJ Festo, Mike Loud, Spice Nice, what's going on? Spyro, Chi-Town, what up? QP Fitness in the building, and MIC was the first. Papo, what's going on? So yes, I got all of you in there right now. All right, so Gus Gomez, my thoughts on the Pioneer Flex 6. I've used it now for the new Saturday Sessions video, which is online right now on YouTube. So I haven't done an extensive test, but I still have it for a while. So I'm going to do a complete test, complete review. And I have to say, I like it. I really like it. I think there's a misconception, like some people have a misconception of what that device is, because when I see some of the comments and people are comparing it to like a DDJ 1000 or something like that, that's not what this is. Just let's start by taking a look at the price. I think it's half the price of a DDJ 1000. So it's not the same tier. It's not the same thing. I think it's a very cool controller if you're currently on an entry-level controller. And I'm going to do that in my review as well. So let's say a DDJ 400. Great entry-level controller. Super small, super portable, you name it. Still has a lot of features. But at a certain point, you might feel you want something that's just a little bit more substantial, size-wise and feature-wise. Now, for some, this is not important. For me, it is. Jog wheels. I prefer to have bigger jog wheels. So I can work with a 400. But when you see the jog wheels on that Flex 6, and they're like the same size as CDJs, for me, that's always a plus. I had that with the DDJ 1000. That was like, this is the real deal. Let's go. And the ones on the Flex 6 are the same size. they're not the same quality as the ones on the DJ 1000, but I have to say they feel pretty good. They definitely feel pretty good. I had a lot of fun for the Saturday Sessions video. Now, of course, I keep it basic in those videos because it is for practice purposes, especially for DJs who are not that advanced yet. But I could pretty much do any type of scratch I wanted to do with that controller. So for me, that's important. For some of you, that is not as important. And I always prefer a bigger controller. It is what it is. That feels better for me. Instead of having to do everything within such a range, having like that little bit of range and the bigger jog wheels. Like even if you have smaller jog wheels like on my S4, it's still a little bit bigger than the entry-level controllers. So for the ones who don't know what I'm talking about the Traktor S4 Mark Iii. Let me disconnect that for a second. Yeah. So I mean, the jog wheels aren't that big, but the controller itself is a little bit bigger. So I prefer that. That gives me a little bit more of the feel that I'm used to of having that little bit. I have a couple of features that will come across as gimmicky, and I think they are. Like they have the I forgot what it's called, the merge effects, I think, where you can do like fabricated buildup. So once you activate it, it starts with a snare, and if you hit it again, it'll do double time, and if you hit it again, it'll do it even faster, and then it ends with like a reverb type of explosion. It's cool, but it's kind of like a one-trick pony because it doesn't sound different. Now I have to look into it. Maybe there's settings you can change to use different sounds. I don't know. I would probably not use that. And there's another feature, I forgot the name, it's called something like Jog Cutter. And if you activate that, if you hold the marker in a certain position and you open the fader, you get sort of a scratch effect. That's not for me. I figured out how it works because they divided the entire jog wheel into parts. So if the marker is straight ahead, you get one effect. If you move it one piece further, one block further, it's another effect. I don't see myself using that though. So if you're used to the higher tier devices, a Flex 6 can seem kind of gimmicky if you focus on those gimmicks. But if you just lay those aside, I think it's a pretty nice controller. So it is a step up from an entry-level controller, but it's not the same level as your DDJ 1000s or SX3 type of controllers. Yeah. Ed Random in the building. What's going on? What up, Brain? You see that you're in the back here, right? Salute. Go check that out on Spotify, Apple Music, Crockett and Tubbs, Brainpower, TLM. One of my favorite joints from last year. Watson Vinyl Only. Salute to you. What's going on? And let's see. G Styles. Does not knowing how to use CDJs hinder you as a DJ? I learned on the turntable, so that's all I know. No. Yo, Adam, by the way, that is definitely my bad. And tomorrow, I'm fixing all of the replays tomorrow. So much work came in between that I had to do that first. So just to go back to G Styles' question, and then I'll take a look at Twitch again. Not knowing how to use CDJs, if it hinders you as a DJ, that all depends. If you DJ with turntables, it doesn't hinder you. And if you can do gigs and always have turntables available, then you're in the clear. I will say, it's always in the DJ's best interest to be able to work with different types of equipment, just because you might run into a situation where you could do a gig, but the gig is on CDJs. You don't know how to use CDJs, so you can't take the gig. But if that doesn't bother you and you're perfectly fine just playing with turntables, then that's your choice. So I learned how to use all the different equipment. just so I know how to use it, just in case. And especially, like I just shouted out Brainpower, a lot of times when we do shows like club shows, those are at venues where most of the DJs are playing on CDJs. In the past, I always used to bring 3 flight cases, bring in the turntables, the mixers. They had to like set up a separate booth, or we had to build it into the DJ booth. A lot of trouble to do like a 30-minute show where I'm doing a couple of scratches that I can do on any CDJ, and the rest of the time I'm starting the music and then I'm grabbing the mic and I'm either front stage with Brainpower or I'm doing the backing vocals. So for shows like that, it doesn't really make sense for me to bring an entire turntable set. So knowing how to use the CDJs allows me to come into a venue like that and I can just get to the DJ booth. I have my flash drive, I have my headphones, and that's all I need. And I can just take over from that DJ and we can switch like seamlessly. Like he can play the last track, I'll insert my flash drive and get my first track ready, grab the mic, and then we're good to go for the show. So it's an advantage to be able to use different types of equipment for those situations. Now, if I'm DJing, I'm being booked to play, I can play on CDJs, but it's in my rider and I'll let people know when they book me. Turntables need to be there. I'm using Serato, Phase, turntables. If they can't bring the mixer, fine, I'll bring the mixer, but that is the setup I need. Let me switch to Twitch real quick since I don't have the thing here. Oh, Mikkel, just in time. Which headset would you recommend? Well, headset. What are we talking about here? When I think headset, I'm thinking about headphones with a microphone for gaming and streaming. Or are you talking about headphones? Let me know that. I'll get back to you. Let's take a look at Twitch. Mo Berry, what's going on? DJ Bourne, what's going on? Fernando in the building. Lion, thanks for the follow. And I see some questions already. RC3, what's going on? I'll read that in a minute. Let me just scroll up for a second, see if I missed anything in here. DJ Darshan, what's going on? From San Diego. Tommy Too Tough, what's going on? Salute to you. And so I think that is it. All right, let me see what was said here. Bing the DJ. Bless. What did RC3 just say? He had a story. All right, true story. My dad told me that a radio show in the US had a giveaway for tickets to see Ice Cube. At least 100 of people are trying to win, and the station chose people, and they went to go see a cooler with an Ice Cube. Dude, what? Mo Berry, did I see the Bob James interview? Yes, I definitely did. All of them. So there were a couple of videos that were released, and I think one was him just reacting to some of the samples, some people who sampled him. And then there was the interview with Ninth Wonder, which was super dope. And I have to commend Ninth Wonder. He's like a great representative for hip hop and for hip hop producers who sample legends like a Bob James. So yeah, that was dope. And just the look in his eyes when he asked him to collab at the end. Yeah. Fernando, S7 toch? Voor wat? Let me know. Die S7 heb ik wel net getest, ja. Die is dope. Okay, Fernando. I use native instruments, but I'm thinking about switching to Serato. What's my experience? That's not what it says, but I'm translating. So Fernando, I hope you don't mind if I answer this in English, just because all people can just understand. So you're using Traktor right now, but you're thinking about switching to Serato. Why is that? Is that because you've seen that Serato has features that you want that you don't have in Traktor? Or is it the layout? Do you think it's going to be a better workflow for you? I mean, the thing is, they all work great. Traktor is great. Serato is great. DJ, algorithm DJ is great. Virtual DJ is like a super complete package. I haven't used it yet, but I can see the growth over years. Record box, they all work great. So it's all about finding which one just works best for you. So it was, I never started with Native Instruments, but I actually used the thing that came before Traktor, which was Final Scratch, which is kind of similar to early versions of Traktor, because Native Instruments actually designed the software for that. And I switched to Serato because I just saw the workflow on that was a lot easier. Like, same thing with Traktor, it was more complex, more settings, more options, but more settings. And I had trouble a couple of times when I connected devices and it just didn't work straight away. And with Serato, everything was just plug and play with whatever I used. It was more of a turntable DJ type layout. If you look at the software, a lot more basic, just easier to understand. And even though I understand the more complex software, I'm not that type of DJ most of the times. I'm pretty basic when I DJ, and I prefer my software to be like that. That is what attracted me to Serato, and it still does, even though I use Record Box as well. I use Traktor as well. Sometimes I do shows with Brainpower, and we did a couple of shows in 2019, because last year we didn't really have shows, but in 2019 we did a couple of shows where we played with basically an ensemble. They had like a big band and artist slash host and a bunch of guest artists. So you would have a constant flow of different artists getting on stage, sometimes solo, sometimes collaborating. And Brainpower did a couple of tracks in there, and we did a couple of songs together. There wasn't a lot of room for those gigs. So with those gigs, I used the S4 Mark Iii that I just showed you because it's little. It still has the motorized platters. So for those occasions, I'm DJing with Traktor. So I know how to work with all of them. But if I have to pick one, it is still Serato, just because of the way I feel using it. Some people will tell you the exact same story, but they'll explain their preference for Traktor, for instance. So that's all up to you. You really need to see if there's something that you're missing in Traktor right now. And let's see. Wait a minute. Fernando. Are you the Fernando I know as well? As in Zaandam, Kale, and all that soort dingen? There were a couple though then. We'll talk. And let's see. Gomeli wants to know, how can we get samples easily to download? What type of samples are you talking about? Let me know what type of samples you're talking about. Let me switch back to YouTube for a second. Facebook, Periscope. I'm going to open extra windows to see what's happening in the chat over there, because I currently can't see it because my Restream app wasn't working. So I'll have to check that again in a second. Gawain Gibbs in the building. Salute DJ Steve Ott in the building. We got Jihad Third and Moya. What's going on? Sneak Attack, all the way from Baltimore. I saw Ed Random already. Tangled Roots, what's going on? Frans, what's going on? Emilio in the building, all the way from Brazil. Adam Steen. So salute to all of you. Yeah, Adam, I already told you. Like I'm gonna fix that really, really soon. So GI the Third asks, out of all the new mixers, which one do you recommend? I'm riding with a new Mark Scratch because it's convenient, but I'm open for an upgrade. So you're looking for an upgrade. What things need upgrading compared to the new Mark Scratch that you have right now? That's the thing. This is the same story that I basically just told you when it came to the software. If you take a look at the top tier scratch mixers, so in this case, let's say we're talking about that Rain 70, 72 level. We're talking about Pioneer S7, S9, S11. You can put Reloop Elite in there. You're dealing with like the top tier scratch mixers. All of them work great. I know which ones I prefer, but they all work great and they all have a slightly different feature set. So your budget is important because you could really like the way the S11 looks. That's going to be way more expensive than the S7 is. My personal preference out of the mixers that are out right now, I would have to say S11. I would really like that one. I don't have it. I have the S9 and I have the 72. The Pioneer is just the thing I'm used to the most coming from the 909. The S9 is my baby right there. But I really like that screen on the 72. Some people don't like a screen at all. That's why they're going with the 70. I like that screen. So that S11, that is at the top of my list. I've been using the S7. So if you want to go the Pioneer route, but you don't need a screen, I would say go for the S7 because it is like $300 cheaper than the S9. And it has newer features, a couple of extra features. I think that's a no-brainer, even though the S9 is still great, but at that big of a price difference, I will go with the S7. Reloop Elite, I think it's a great mixer. If that is the mixer you have and you study it, it can be a great tool. But compared to using an S9 or S7 or S11 or using the Rains, there's something about the workflow that I don't like as much. If the Reloop Elite was my only mixer, I would just sit in a room with that for like a week and make it my own. But now when I'm doing a couple of streams with a Pioneer mixer or a couple with a Rain mixer and then I go back to the Elite, I'm struggling every time. I'm hitting the wrong buttons and stuff like that. But they all work great. So it's hard to recommend. So you should just do a comparison, see what they all have and what you're missing on your Numark scratch and which of the mixers has that. Steve Odd, I'm using Traktor Scratch Pro, but there's one big reason why I wanted to switch the record box to Serato, and that was being able to play back-to-back with one mixer, and there was no Native Instruments certified mixer with 2 sound cards. Now it works with Traktor Pro 3. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking the Serato or even record box route, there's options to have mixers that will just allow you to do that seamless switch just with the 2 USB ports. That is, I mean, I don't do a lot of those back-to-backs, but it's great to have that just in case we're doing a gig and there's a DJ playing and I have to take over. Having that double USB is perfect for that. Do you believe in paying 15 euros every month for premium record box? If it's worth it, can't answer that. I just can't answer that. That's really, everyone has to decide for themselves. Purple, what's going on? Salute. Everyone has to decide for themselves. I mean, I have the subscription. The crazy thing is, actually, a reminder to myself, I gotta fix that with Pioneer. I'm paying for that. I should be able to get that without paying for it, but I'm actually paying for it. I have the record box subscription because I use it for videos with Beat Source Link and you name it. But yeah, I need to fix that. So I don't know if it's worth it for you. All depends on which features are in premium that you would need. So I can't tell. Tango Roots, one more here. Then I'm going back to Twitch for a sec. Should I start DJing with music videos to show more presence online, and what platforms support this? The second part is really good to mention because I know a couple of DJs that are exclusively on Twitch because they DJ with videos, and even though Mixcloud is most likely the future for streaming sets for DJs, they do not support videos. So for that reason, I know that the video guys aren't using Mixcloud. Should you start using music videos to show more presence online? I don't know if that really makes a difference. I don't know if, and I'm the wrong person to ask. We should ask the audience, but I don't know if a lot of people are tuning into DJs online to see them mix videos compared to DJs playing just the tracks. So I don't know. I mean, it can be interesting. I know some DJs who do it and the entire background will be the videos of the music that they're playing. It looks cool. But I don't know if that would be something that would make you choose, if you had to choose between two DJs, if you're going to pick the DJ who uses videos or just the DJ who plays the better songs for your taste. So I'm not sure. I don't know. DJ Assassin is in the building as well. What's going on? DJ Elite asks, how do I get a DJ drop? What kind? You mean a drop with your own name in it? So one place you can check out for that is Fiverr. That's Fiverr. Let's see, is it Fiverr? Yeah, Fiverr. Fiverr.com. Fiverr.com. That is like a marketplace where you can basically find people to do anything. Anything from, let's say, like logo design, flyer design, website design, to people making jingles for you, DJ drops, producing entire tracks for you. You even have DJs on there who can do scratches for your songs. And I'm just naming a couple of things. You can find people to do basically anything there for very reasonable prices. So you should definitely check that out. When they started out, everything was $5. Now some things are more expensive, but I've done like logo designs there. I've done a couple of drops as well for very reasonable prices, like between 10 and $20 for like logos and all of that. So check Fiverr. Who else is in here? Georgina, what's going on? And yeah, so for instance, Gus Gomez says, I love Record Box DJ. To me, it's the smoothest. And some people will swear that virtual DJ is that thing for them. So that is why it's so important to try. And with the software, with a lot of software, you can actually just try stuff out for free before you buy. So I'm going to scroll around for a sec because there was a lot on Twitch that I haven't gotten to yet. So remember when I said the S11 wasn't working, RC3, yeah, I remember that. It hasn't been doing it, but me and my dad are thinking about resetting the S11, okay, to the other firmware. No, I don't know. I mean, I haven't spent enough time with it. I don't have it myself. Well, actually, I just received it back today, but I only have it for testing purposes, review purposes. So I have no idea. I have no idea. You should really check Pioneer for that. Let's see if their support can help you out. Oh, Fernando, Zoetermeer. Okay, got you. Got you. Kwam je ook bij New Jack vroeger? Phil the Real, what's going on? Henny Bone, what up? If I have a mixer that unlocks Serato DVS, do I just need a Serato DVS vinyl to complete my DVS setup? Yeah, that's basically it. That's the thing with Serato. You need a certified device that will unlock it, and certain devices actually come with that DVS license. Some will just unlock Serato, but you still need to buy the DVS expansion. But with some, if it unlocks the DVS, then all you need is control vinyl. Or if you have phase, then you don't even need the control vinyl, then any vinyl will work. But that's an extra step, of course. All right, my view, THC wants to know my view on Neural Mix Pro by Algorithm. By the way, one thing I could actually try for a second. Let's see if I can do that. Can I do that? I want to see, maybe I can reset the bot to do the relay and to send the chat to all of the platforms. That way we can all see each other's questions. I actually turned that off last time because it was causing some issues. But then again, let me not. Whatever. I'll switch between the platforms. This is all a test for me. For those tuning in later, the setup I'm using right now is I'm actually streaming through my phone wirelessly from a GoPro. So my GoPro is connected wirelessly to my phone. I'm using the GoPro app and I'm streaming from the GoPro app. And from there, I'm streaming to a Restream that is sending it to all platforms. I just wanted to test. This is the GoPro Hero 9. So yes, I just upgraded because I was still using my GoPro Hero 5 for the overview shots that you see in all my live streams. Just wanted to not even upgrade, but I wanted to have an extra GoPro. And on GoPro.com, they had like a great deal for this one. And of course, going from a 5 to a 9 comes with some upgrades. So some features will improve. We'll have to see if the image quality improves that much when I'm streaming. This is not really a great way to judge it because this is not the same as when I connect this directly to the computer, even though I still have to get the special mod to have HDMI out on this one. But this is a cool test as well. Since I'm not in the studio, I like experimenting with stuff like this. And now I know that I could be anywhere. And if I have my phone, then I can stream with the GoPro. And I mean, what I can see on the computer, the image looks pretty good. And the microphone is better than I had expected. Of course, we're indoors now. Outdoors, I think they're horrible. Most GoPros, but this is pretty cool. THT, you asked my views on Neural Mix Pro by algorithm. I haven't been able to test that. I've tested the Neural Mix on my iPad and on my phone, but the Neural Mix Pro is Mac only for now, and I currently don't have an Apple computer, so I can't test that yet. Look, to me, the Neural Mix feature is just dope. It's a dope feature. It allows you to get creative. It's just not perfect yet. Like if I use it on the iPad, it works. It lets me separate the parts. I can get the drums if I just want to hear the drums, but it is like kind of eating up the audio. You can really hear the loss in audio quality. So I assume it's going to be a little bit better with Pro. But you have to really pick the right tracks. If I did it with certain older tracks, it really sounded horrible. Then I tried it with some other tracks where it actually sounded pretty clean. The drums still sounded okay. It all depends on how a track is mixed. If there's a clear separation between frequencies, then it's easier to use Neural Mix to actually separate the parts. But if, for instance, you have drums, but within that drum layer, there's a lot of frequencies that overlap with the melody, then when you separate, you start to hear that you're still hearing a bit of that melody in the drums, or that it's actually eating away a lot of the melody when you want to solo that. So it's cool. For me personally, I think I would use it in certain situations, but that is not something I would do. Actually, I might actually just do that on the fly as well. I don't know. I will have to find a way to get a Mac and test that properly. Well, let me switch back to YouTube for a second. So again, for y'all watching, I normally have one screen where I can see the entire chat, and normally I send all the messages from every chat box to the other. Last time we had some issues and it was repeating the same chat posts over and over. So I turned that off. So I currently have to switch between the chat on Twitch and on YouTube. And I still have to open Facebook. So let me do that now. So it can take me a little bit longer to see your questions, but we'll try to get to everything. And again, I say this every week. If you asked a question like 30 minutes ago and I didn't answer it, then I may have missed it. Then you just ask it again, but don't ask it after 5 minutes. So Jihad Third, you wanted to know if I still DJ using actual vinyl records. So 99% of the times the answer is no. I DJ, if I'm DJing with turntables, I'm using DVS, Serato most of the times, and Phase. So that's my wireless DVS system. But I just started last week on Monday with my new monthly vinyl only stream. So I stream every Monday. I have a mix stream called Crates. It's on every Monday on Mixcloud and Twitch. And every last Monday of the month is going to be an all vinyl edition. Last weekend, like the entire Friday night and the entire Saturday, I actually sorted out my entire vinyl collection. So my entire wall of vinyl is now sorted alphabetically. The genres are together. So I have hip hop all together. I have my R&B separate. I have my dancehall separate. I have my smaller like little house two-step UK garage selection separately. And then I have a ton of like old music all together and a big stack of compilation albums, which are basically all hip hop R&B. So and then I have my party breaks separate. So it's gonna be a lot easier for me to now actually find songs, and I'm looking forward to my next all vinyl set already. It was a lot of fun last time, and I mean, I might even start to do more than once a month. So I haven't done that for years, but playing with vinyl is something I definitely want to bring back for fun. If I'm going out to play gigs, I'm getting booked, I'm not bringing my vinyl. I'm using Serato every time. Lalo, what's going on? Salute. What is the PC version of Neural Mix? It's currently Mac only. The one by Algorithm DJ, their Neural Mix Pro is for Mac. But like the software, the feature itself is not exclusive to Algorithm DJ. Virtual DJ actually has a similar feature. I just haven't tested that yet. And I know that in my Isotope software, I actually have a feature. I have the Isotope post-production suite, and within that I have the option to also separate those different parts, but that's not DJ software. DJ Waves wants to know, are buying expansions in Serato DJ worth it? Do you really need them? Pitch and time, etc. I would actually say the only one that I recommend is pitch and time. If you use master tempo lock, if that's something you use, the one in Serato was never great. It just wasn't. Pitch and time, when you have that, then that also works on the master tempo. I have a video about that, made that years back. And if you hear the difference between the normal Serato master tempo and the one with pitch and time, the difference is ridiculous. So that will be the thing. Like all the extra effects, for me, it's not worth it because I don't use a lot of effects and I hardly ever use software effects. That's why I prefer the Pioneer mixers, because they have the effects on board, the effects I need. So for some, this might be interesting. A lot of those expansions are probably not interesting for a lot of people. So Toby wants to know, you're doing my scratch videos, where should you go after that? There's a ton of resources. I mean, there's more scratch stuff online. It all depends on how seriously you take it. I actually already recommended this last week, and I'm going to keep recommending it, and that is School of Scratch, because that is just a great resource, specialized in scratching. I don't know how far Scratch Bastard takes his, because he has his Scratch Academy, I think. I mean, there's a bunch of things out there. I bet the Beat Junkies have like Scratch classes as well, but that's different than just having some videos online. Original Fresh Prince, what up? From the UK, back again, my neighbor. DJ Cliff, what's going on? Salute to you. Yo. Oh, for real? That's really dope to hear. Where do you live? Where do you live? Let me know, DJ Cliff. That is super dope. DJ Mario, it's a me. What's going on? If you can't afford a scratch slip mat, can you advise on how you can make your own when using motorized turntables? Are slip mats that expensive? Like, I honestly don't know. I have a ton of slip mats just from over the years. I mean, I've bought slip mats. Slip mats have been gifted to me. I'm actually going to receive a pair of slip mats this coming week. Some classic Technics with like the circle, the spinning circle. When you play, it looks like the hypnotizing circles. All right, DJ Cliff, dope. That's dope. Yeah, man. I mean, I have some Caribbean roots as well. My dad was from Curaçao, Dutch Caribbean. So Fresh Prince, I mean, yeah, I'm sure you could. Like, a lot of things could probably work as slip mats. I just never did it. The only thing I think I've ever done is like do to create an extra layer of slipperiness, so to say. I would have like cut out a piece of plastic, have that underneath my slip mat to make it just spin faster. But that's not a slip mat. So I don't know. I mean, you could find some fabric if it's thick enough and cut out a circle, make a hole in the middle. It could be a slip mat. But I've never done that, so I have no experience doing that. All right, I got Facebook here. Let me quickly check. Go to my page. I didn't even check if I'm on. I think I am. Yeah, I am on. Okay, we got 10 people watching on Facebook as well. So let's see. We got comments. Dennis, what's going on? Marius, what up? Tori Douglas, what's going on? Salute to all of you. All right, Dennis wants to know, or Denise, I don't know, why Tidal won't let you record your mixes. So I guess you're trying to use Tidal in your DJ software, right? So here's the thing. Certain deals have been made between DJ software and streaming services. So for instance, you can use Tidal. SoundCloud is available in certain DJ software, and BeatSource Link. If you saw my live stream on Monday, everything I played came from BeatSource. So I streamed it from the BeatSource website in Serato and played it. Whenever you're playing something that's from a streaming service, you cannot record the set. That is part of the deal that has been made. The streaming services allow the DJ software to basically stream their music, but not record it, because they don't own the rights to do that. So that is a restriction. Now, of course, there are ways around that, because the only thing that you cannot do is record in your DJ software. So for instance, if your mixer out goes into a computer, or for instance, when I streamed on Monday, I couldn't record it in the DJ software, but I'm streaming through OBS and I record my streams. So I still record my set. Or you could have an external recorder connected to the mixer, and then you can record your mix. But the DJ software will not allow you to record when you're using music from the streaming platform. So there's not a lot you can change about that. You cannot use record within your DJ software then. Yeah, and Marius, for some it's going to be better to see if that you can just find a license for Rekordbox 5 instead of paying the subscription model. Again, you'd have to see if there's anything in 6 that you really like that's not in 5. For some, I know they're like, hey, I'm not upgrading to 6. I'm not going for the subscription model. And I understand that. I think it would be the best option if all companies would still offer you the choice to do a subscription or pay. I do it with certain services. So I have the Adobe suite and I'm paying for that. And yes, when you start to calculate for the amount of time that I've had it, it would have been cheaper if I could have bought it at once, even though I wasn't able to afford it then at once. So I'm grateful for subscription models. But in some cases, you're like, hey, it will definitely be better if I could also choose to buy. And some people would buy it and a lot would just use a subscription. Tobias, what up? Salute. CJ wants to know if I ever used HID mode with Serato. I have a couple of times. I've used in the past HID mode with CDJs, with older CDJs. When that first came around, like before that, you had to use the Serato Control CDs. After that, I have used HID mode a couple of times, but in that beginning phase, a lot of times it wasn't working. I would go to clubs and the clubs wouldn't have their CDJs updated to the latest firmware, and I would come in and connect, and a lot of times it would not recognize the CDJs or only recognize one. I've used the HID mode once with the Denon SE5000s. So I have used it, but it's not my normal setup, because when I'm using Serato, it's going to be turntables like probably 98% of the time. So that is Facebook. Good to see y'all. All right, back to YouTube for a second. Reactor is in the building. DJ Red, what's going on? The reloop is great. Yes, it's a great mixer, no doubt. It looks like some of these messages weren't here before. I'm seeing them between messages that are already read, but it's all good. It's all good. So William Payne, I think I saw you already. I got CJ in here as well. What's the name of the site for DJ drops and logos? All right, Fiverr.com. I'm writing it down right now in YouTube chat. Fiverr. So that's Fiverr.com. If anyone on Twitch needs it, I can write it there as well. P100, what's going on? A cheap but cool mic suggestion. And thoughts on the Pioneer DJ M450. I've never used the 450, and I'd have to actually go look online to see which features it has again. I don't remember. So I can't really give you an opinion about that now. Cheap mics, what type of mic are you talking about? Just a normal mic for hosting while you're DJing, or a podcasting mic, a recording mic to shoot videos? There's all sorts of mics to choose from. Cool thing is, tech has gotten better over the years, and now you have cheaper mics that are still pretty affordable. But then again, it all depends on what you define as cheap. So for instance, the one I use for my podcast, the Pod Mic by Rode, I would call that a cheap microphone, but that's relative. It's $100. That's still $100. So that is a lot of money for a lot of people. But what you get for it, like quality wise, I call that a bargain. But there's a lot cheaper mics out there. You can buy a $20, $30 microphone that could still give you okay quality. I can't really name products because I'm never really looking for that type of microphone. So you actually gave me a good idea. I should do some research when it comes to that, just so I know. See, and I missed those messages before, so I'm glad I went back to see those. Let's see, let's still. Fast Money JJP, do you still do your workouts in Corona time? Like only at home. So for the last 3-4 weeks, I haven't. And starting again, and that's going to be at home. The gyms aren't open, so it's going to be at home, but I'm going to be focusing more actually on cardiovascular activities. So I can go outside, run, ride the bike, stuff like that. I actually just ended my gym membership like 6 months ago. At a certain point, gyms opened up again, and I was like, I actually really wanted also to work out in gyms again. And right before I got a new subscription, we went back into lockdown, so I'm glad I didn't. But once they open up, I will do the gym again as well. DJ Assassin, that's my pleasure, 100%. Twitch, what's up? Styles Johnson, what up? DJ 6, all good, man, all good. Streaming from home because of the curfew we currently have going on. So only staying in the studio when I'm doing the mixes for now, the mix stream, because I have to actually spend the night in the studio afterwards, because we're not allowed on the streets after 9 p.m. right now. Mixmaster G, een goedenavond. Een goedenavond. Being the DJ wants to know, have you created a video on how to set up a Twitch stream? No, not yet. Something that's coming real soon. The cool thing is there's so many options. Just like I was talking about now, I'm streaming through a GoPro that is connected over the network to my phone. Nothing on my phone except the stream health. This is in the GoPro app. So all I have to do is just give the GoPro app the info of my restream, and then it starts streaming. So this is a setup. Now, if you're DJing, this wouldn't be the right setup because the audio is coming from the GoPro mic. You don't want to do DJ sets using a microphone on a camera. You want to have something that records. So like you already mentioned, like an iRig, you should have something like that for that purpose. So I'll probably do a video or a bunch of videos describing a couple of different methods that I've used and methods that I've seen. There's a lot of different ways to go about it, that's for sure. Let's see what's happening here. Vanilla Rice, what up, man? Salute. I quickly want to see THT answered DJ on the 1s and 2s. I want to know what question that was. I'm seeing things about a dry cloth and a wet cloth. What are y'all talking about? Okay, what's the best thing to use to clean Brain acrylic? Okay, got you. So that was the answer. Okay, got you. I don't have a better answer, so I'm all good with that. Gometti wants to know, how important is samples during live plays, by the way? I don't think it's important at all. Like samples, I'm not sure exactly how you mean it, but look, the only thing I think is important when you're playing live is just DJing, man. Just do the thing DJs do. Play songs, have fun while you're doing it. Play stuff you like. Enjoy what you're doing so you can actually, people can actually see that you're enjoying yourself. You know, that's what it's all about. It's about the feeling it gives you. It's about the fact that you're getting your practice runs in during this pandemic, so you can still do your thing. You might even be able to build a fan base, but that fan base should be built on you. So you should really be doing you, so you get people that if they stick around because they like what you do. All the extras, samples, shout outs, visual effects, they're all extras. It's cool, it can add on, but it all starts with the music. You can have the greatest visuals and 1,000 samples, but if you suck as a DJ, people will not continue to watch the stream. There's so many options available that part needs to be good. So all of those things are extras. DJ Born wants to know, are you streaming through Serato software itself when you play? And how is the mic hooked up? Okay, so my microphone that I use when I'm DJing and streaming, the mic is actually connected to the DJ mixer. That's what I do during all of the live streams when I'm mixing. No need for extra setups. I'm gonna send the audio from my mixer to the computer because my mix needs to go to the computer to go to OBS. So why go to the trouble of having like a separate mic attached to the computer, an extra track in OBS? Not necessary. So I just plug straight into the mixer and send that audio out. Now, of course, there could be reasons to do it a different way if you want to do like a multi-track recording, so after the fact you can make a mix where you don't hear your hosting. That's not really important right now. So I just connect the microphone to the mixer. My mixer goes into my ATEM Mini Pro, which is my video switcher. That's connected to the computer, and the computer basically sees that switcher as a webcam. So in OBS, my streaming software, I just add the ATEM Mini Pro. It sees that as a webcam, and I also use that as an audio source. So it just gets the feed from all of the cameras that I'm using, and it gets the music from the mixer, including the microphone. So I'm not streaming through Serato. let's see. Stulu, what's going on? Salute to you. If I didn't shout you out already. So Gomedi, I love it. You have a lot of questions. You had a lot of questions during the last stream. That's why I told you, like, come here on Wednesday. This is for the questions. So salute to you. And that's a message to other people, because I've had people in the chat before and they would ask like a question or two, and then I could tell that they were hesitant, and some would even admit like, I'm sorry, I don't want to bother you and ask more questions. If you have 100 questions, ask 100 questions. That's what this stream is all about. Sometimes I might not even see it, and then other people will jump in. Just like the question about cleaning the rain acrylic. I hadn't seen that question, but somebody already answered this. Like with my streams, a lot of the people watching are DJs, and we all have a certain degree of knowledge. And some of you out there know a lot more about certain things than I do. So that's why it's great to just ask the questions. And even if I don't see them, someone might see them. So just go for it. So the question is, how do I get voice samples during live performances? Not just voice, but other samples used during live shows, parties, and clubs. Other samples, like you should be more specific about what type of samples you're looking for. But I can tell you that a lot of samples can just be found online, even if you Google online. So let's say, let's take the most standard thing a lot of DJs use, the air horn. If you need an air horn and you Google air horn download, that should probably already get you a link to sites that offer free sounds. Most likely you'll find air horn, laser sounds, you name it. If you want specific things with names in there or a drop shout outs, then you can use services like Fiverr. They work great for that. All right, so I'm scrolling down for a sec. Yeah, Mixmaster G. The Restream bot is off. Normally, I turn that on through either the computer or the iPad. But when I log into Restream, I have to authenticate using my code generator on my phone. I'm currently using my GoPro app to stream. I don't really want to leave this app because I don't know what will happen. I don't know if I leave this app, if that could somehow disrupt the stream. That's why I decided to not do the Restream bot today. The downside is that everyone will only see the chat on their platform. But yeah, I mean, this is an experiment already. This part is working pretty well. By the way, what's cool, since I'm using the GoPro 9, the new GoPro, I have a screen on the front. So the GoPro is pointed at me, but I can see that I can see my entire frame. Something I didn't have on the old GoPros. That alone is super dope already, especially for things like this. Even though I know I can trust the GoPro, it's just so much more. I think it's more convenient to actually see that. Comforting to know that you're actually in frame and on. I can see how long I've been streaming. There's no battery in the GoPro, by the way. It's just a USB-C going straight into a charger. So there's no battery in there. And I think that will actually, let's see if that will help. Is this hot? Yeah, it's still a bit warm though. But I heard from some people that this actually is better than having the battery in when you're doing the stream. But it works. Dig Sample Beats. Hey, Bos en Lommer. What up, Bos en Lommer in the building. Damsko, represent. Dope. Eli Purr, I use the ATEM Mini and then an audio interface. Yeah, I'm using the audio input on the ATEM Mini Pro. So that mic input, inside the control software for the ATEM Mini Pro, you can choose if you're using a mic or a line. And I have that connected, and I use that, I think, in as a line input. If I'm not mistaken, I think I did that. Okay. Vess already answered 6. I didn't even know that the S7 wasn't out yet. So yeah, I knew that it should be out now or coming out really soon. Yeah, that's it. It's getting direct power. Eli, I hear you. Yeah. Let's see. So for those that are not familiar with GoPro, it is an action camera. So those small cameras, I don't have my 5 here, of course. The small cameras that you see people use when they're doing action sports, and they'll have them on their helmet and on their chest and the chest mount. I mean, the reason why they're dope for DJs is because of the wide angle that you can get. Now, if you use the widest version, you do get that spherical look, so it's not going to be like a linear picture, but it allows you to have a GoPro really close to your DJ set, the camera really close to your DJ set, and still get everything in the frame. And they're just super portable. So I use my old GoPro for a ton of different gigs, and since it's so small, there's always room for a GoPro in your bag. Like with my bigger cameras, even with the M50, so that's my vlogging cam, but I use it during the live streams. When you see me during the live streams, you see that overview shot, the shot from above. That's my GoPro, the Hero 5. So next time I'm going to use hopefully this one, but that's my GoPro. And then when I talk to you during the live stream, I'm talking into another camera. That's my M50. And I actually brought it because I didn't know if the GoPro was going to work. And otherwise, I was going to use this with this Canon software, because then you can use this as a webcam. This is not that big for like a camera. I mean, it's a system cam. It's a lot smaller than like the typical DSLR cameras. But still, this is like at least 2-3 times that GoPro, just the body and then a lens. So you don't always have room for this. You always have room for a GoPro. So that's why I think they're cool for DJs. Now, they're not great in low light. They don't have the best image quality if the light isn't great. But beyond that, I've gotten great footage out of them. And that's why I like them. And for situations like this as well. At random, what's going on? Yeah, basically P100. It is a bird's eye view. Jarvis, did I salute you? Yeah, I just did. Mellow Show, what's going on? How do you live stream a DJ set and make the music super clear? So basically, that's what we were just talking about. If you're going to stream and you're going to do a mix, you have to make sure that the audio from your mixer or your controller is going into the computer. Don't use a camera, microphone on a camera and record the sound in your room. That's just a no-no. It's not going to sound as good, and especially if you're also like a scratch DJ. If you record the audio in the room, you're going to hear all those fader clicks. So you could probably hear this. You're going to hear music, but if the music is not loud enough, you're going to hear fader clicks. So you're going to get good audio if you make sure that the audio from your DJ set goes into the computer, so it can actually be streamed to your stream, broadcasted to your stream. DJ Easy Promo TV, a big salute to you. A big salute to you. I appreciate that a lot. So thank you for that super chat. Let's see. Is there a technique you use for beat matching by ear? I find that to be the hardest part. I use Senator's visual aids, but I really want to beat match by ear. I don't know what Senator's visual aids are, or was it just a misspell and is it Serato's visual aid? But anyway, a technique for beat matching by ear. So for me, the most important thing is this was the difficult part when I started to learn how to beat match. I would have one track playing, I would cue the other one on the headphones, and it would always be hard for me in the beginning to hear if the new track was actually playing too slow, too fast. So I had to learn what to focus on. Now, with hip hop, normally I focus on the snare drum. Like a lot of tracks, not always, but a lot of tracks will have their snare drums on the 2 and on the 4. So most hip hop and R&B, basically most music that we DJs play, all has the same 4/4 time signature, meaning that you have 4 beats, 4 counts in every bar, also called a measure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you have drums, a lot of times the snare, most of the times the snare is going to be on the 2 and 4. So you're going to have 1 snare, snare, 1 snare, 3 snare. The other track will have that as well. So I would listen to that, because snare drums a lot of times will sound a little bit different, where kick drums can sound more the same. I will focus on snares. For me, that was the easiest thing to focus on. And I would just listen to the snare in the headphones. Okay, is my snare in the headphones coming before, after, or in sync with the snare on the other track? That was my focus point when I started to learn how to do that. So you have to find that focus point. Snare drums work for me. I know DJs that focused on other things as well. And if you're using house music, there's a lot of times there will be claps in there as well. So you're going to have, with the house music, you have that 4 to the floor drum pattern. So you have that kick drum on every count. But then a lot of times they will still have like a clap, and that's going to be on that 2 and 4. But some people will just focus on the kicks, and with house music, it's pretty easy to hear when you're playing in sync. But a focus point, that's the thing for me. Do you still download songs in Corona time to keep your sets updated when Corona is over? Crates updated? Yeah, sometimes. Like, honestly, not as much, because I'm really happy with what I'm doing right now, actually rediscovering a lot of the music that I already had, especially during the live streams. And I know for a fact that when, like first off, the bulk of what we play as DJs, it's not the newest stuff, aside from, of course, the big new hits, which are pretty easy to find out which they are and have them in your crates. But most of the times, the crowd is not there for the newest songs. That's my personal experience. I haven't played everywhere. I just know a lot of places where I did play that I was always a fan of, like, brand new joints, and you would play those and you would get hardly any reaction because the crowd wasn't really into that yet. They need to hear a song a couple of times to know it and like it, and then they want to hear it in the clubs. It also depends on what type of parties you play. Are you playing parties where they're playing a lot of new music, or are you doing more throwback parties where you're actually not playing new music? I'm just trying to find myself again during my live streams, playing the stuff I really like, discovering like, okay, this is still really my thing, or I really want to play that as well. Take it from there. But I mean, I still have my DJ City subscription, so I will check and see from time to time. Plus, I have my Spotify and my Tidal, so I get the updates when new tracks come in. So I basically stay up to date. But there's a lot of new tracks in there as well that come out that actually aren't really tracks I could play in the club. If the club gigs come back, like, I mean, anytime there's like a... Catch that. Could you try really? That? No, don't do that. Like I can hear new stuff every day, and a lot of that stuff isn't for the clubs, but I'll use it for crates, for my mix show. Lives in. Hey, man, we all got our lives, man. You can't always be in every live stream the entire time. All right, so good question. When did you switch from Mac to Windows, and why did you switch? So this wasn't really by choice. The MacBook Pro was my go-to computer, my DJ computer, my editing computer. I mean, I've used Windows computers for the longest time before that as well. Like, I started on Windows computers. At a certain point, I got a MacBook, the black MacBook, used that for years. Loved it. That was my first experience with Apple. And at a certain point, I bought a second-hand MacBook Pro. Used it for years. That died at the end of 2019. So I actually didn't have a DJ computer for quite a bit of time. And after that, I borrowed a computer, a loan. Actually, I'm still using that right now. Salute MIC. And that is a Windows computer. This is a Surface Book 1. And it works for DJing. It can't keep up, but it's it's a little bit older. And I needed a new studio computer, and I went for the more affordable option, and that was building your own PC. And what I paid for that build, if I wanted something similar to that from Apple, would have cost me at least twice as much or more. It's a little bit different now with the new Macs coming out. They are more affordable. I definitely want Mac in my life again as well. I prefer a combo for the simple fact that for certain things, like a question I received here today, Neural Mix Pro by Algorithm DJ, I haven't been able to test it because I don't have an Apple computer here. So I should have both in my life just for situations like that. But for instance, I would love to have like just a new Mac Mini here for home purposes, so I could also edit when I'm at home, you name it. So it was basically out of necessity. I needed a new computer, and the Macs were just way too expensive. So I'll hopefully have both soon. Is there a way to train your hands when scratching? My hand on the fader wants to do one thing while the hand on the wheel wants to do another. DJ Shan, that's just putting in the hours, putting in the work. Practice, practice, practice. Now, I'm pretty sure that there's training techniques out there to work on your hand coordination. I'm just not really familiar with that. So you could Google that, like hand coordination exercises. For me, it actually came from my drumming background. I used to drum before I started the DJ. When you're drumming, you actually already learn how to do two different things with your hands that still go together. So when you're doing a drum pattern and I'm playing the hi-hat here and my foot is doing the kick drum, and this one has to do the snare at the same time. And then if you want to open your hat, you have to also let your other foot open the hat and close it again. So you're basically using both feet and both hands. Everything is doing something else, but it all has to come together to make the rhythm work. So since I already knew how to do that, now holding a fader and holding a platter and doing movements that are different but go together came kind of naturally to me. But then it was just putting in the hours and hours and hours and hours. That was it. Give me 1 second. Gino, even snel. Right. Yeah. Bedtime for one of those little rugrats right there. Can't let them go to bed without that acknowledgement, man. Gotta show that love every day, always. Now I gotta think what I was saying again. Yeah, practice. Put in those hours. Let's see. If you're able, what is the best controller by Pioneer, in your opinion? I would, without any question, say, and I mean, I haven't tried all of their stuff. They have a bunch of XDJ stuff that I haven't tried out. DDJ 1000 is what will still come to mind for me. That was the joint. I currently have the 1000 SRT, so that's the Serato version. Even though I have to admit, I liked the normal DDJ 1000 for record box better. The SRT isn't mine, it's Pioneer's. If I had to choose between the 1000 and the SRT, I would choose the 1000. Even though I normally prefer Serato as software, I'm willing to make that sacrifice because I like record box and I like that normal 1000 more than the Serato version. But that 1000, yeah, love it. M2, no, I haven't tried the Brain one yet, not yet. See, that's the thing. The only way I'm going to be able to try it now is if InMusic would send one over. I haven't been in contact with them. Like, we're on a lockdown here. Like we've been on lockdown for quite a while, so I haven't even had the opportunity to, let's say, go to one of the audio stores. If we weren't in a lockdown, I would have just gone to one of those stores and just tried it out in the store just to get a feel for it. Stores are closed. I haven't been able to do that either. So no, I still don't know. Cliff says, a lot of hours. I used to practice one scratch with one beat over 8 hours a day until my hands hurt. Yeah, I remember at a certain point I would get like actual cramp in my hands from just doing it, scratching so long. Yeah, that's just part of the deal, but it becomes easier, and now you're at a point that it's just second nature and you're not even thinking anymore. Art of PHN, what's going on, man? Always great to watch your streams. Do you have any tips for training your crossfader hand? Oh, basically, we were just talking about that. So my current issue is having my thumb tense up, requiring more pressure from my fingers to open the fader. Yeah, so I don't have exercises for fingers. I just practice scratching a lot, and for me, I do certain scratches with one hand on the fader, other scratches with the other hand. So in my situation, it's getting hot in here. Let's go for the ball head. When I'm transforming, I'm using my right hand on the fader, and when I'm doing my crabs, I'm using the right hand on the fader. When I'm doing my chirps and when I'm doing my flares, my left hand is on the fader. So it just happened naturally. I didn't even practice that, and I still want to learn how to do everything on both sides, both hands, instead of being one of the DJs who has to do this and then has to do this. What's going on here? I see a little warning. Everything looks good. Okay, whatever. But I don't know if there's specific exercises for that. Now I'm seeing like a flashing warning that says check the encoder settings on my Restream dashboard because the keyframe interval is off. I don't know. It looks good over here. That's all I can say. DJ Wave says, considering we're in a pandemic, do you feel it will be smart to cut off some subscriptions to DJ Pool since there's no money coming in? I think it is very sensible. Marijn, ik kom zo bij jou. I think it's very sensible to look at your spending. I actually did that at the beginning of this year. I took a look at all of my subscriptions and cut a couple off. Like, some subscriptions are necessary, some subscriptions are more luxury. So I definitely took a look and saw I could just scrap a couple, and I might join again later. But right now, if you know, like, I still have an income, but if you know that your income is not there or it's been cut in half or even more, you cannot be spending the same amount of money during this time. So that is an excellent idea. Marijn, what up, Al? Heb je turntable set nog staan? Dat wil ik weten van jou. Hey, we got Malonzi. What up? Salute to you. Marco Antonio, salute to you as well. Okay, so Marco and Facebook, I'm sorry, I wasn't here for a second. I see that I'm not seeing everything. Can I just click on here and see everything? So I'm missing a bunch of the comments right here. A lot of people are asking me this same question, Rain 1 or NS7 III. To me, the question is a little bit silly for one reason alone, and that's the size difference, because that is a big difference. Like, an NS7 is just a lot bigger. That should already be one of the main things why you would choose this or that one. Not the most important thing, but like I said earlier in the stream, I prefer the larger controllers. I have an NS7. It is a beast. But I also know that if I get that, it's not going to be one of those portable things. The Rain 1 is definitely something you can take with you a lot easier. I haven't done a proper comparison, and I could do that, but even then, you would still have to take a look at all of the features and see which one would suit your needs better. So I prefer the size of the NS7. The NS7 III has the screens. Really like those screens. Then again, the Rain 1 is probably a little bit more tailored towards newer features in DJ software, but then again, I haven't tested it yet. So it's a really personal choice. The Rain 1, I think the size is important. If you don't have a lot of room or if you want to move around with your controller, it's the Rain 1 for sure. Because that NS7, I used the NS7 1 for a tour. Oh Lord, that thing is, like, I had it in a flight case. Such a pain to carry that around. Even though I love the controller, it's such a pain to carry that around. All right, I have to look on Twitch again. I haven't been here for a sec, man. Let's see. Rico Steez, what's going on? Salute to you. DJ Elegance, thank you for the follow. We got Arya in here. And Arya wants to know, do you get an N-word pass? Well, if you're asking me that, you're from Iran, so I'm assuming you're not black. No, let's just say no. If you're asking me, I know there's a lot of people out there that definitely do not seem to care who uses the N-word. I think it will be doper if it's not used at all, but if it's used, then yeah. Rico Steez, yes, I did. I built my own PC. I did that halfway through last year. That was the most logical choice. I really wanted to have a studio computer that would be up to all of the video editing I wanted to do. I wanted to get more into music production again, use plugins and stuff more extensively, and stream, you name it. So, like I said, what I got for the amount I spent, I compared that to if I would spend that money on Mac. No competition at all. Like, I would need to spend at least twice the amount to get a Mac equivalent, at least. And even now, you can get better parts for the same price or cheaper because it goes really fast. But it's still, that computer will last me a while. I went with a Ryzen system, so I have the Ryzen 9 3900X in there. Currently still on 32 gigs of RAM, 3600 speed. But I will be getting a second kit, so I have 64 gigs then, using an RTX 2060 Super as my GPU, and I have 2 SSDs and 2 NVMe M.2, the newest version, the 4.0 drives in there. So I have 4 fast drives in there, and then at the moment a bunch of external drives. Okay, that is still working. I'm still working on a full PC build video. I actually shot a bunch of footage and then I stopped, so I need to finish that, explaining all the parts that are in there, you name it. Eli Per, PC Master Race, yes indeed. DJ Named Vest says, don't learn to beat match on old Timbaland tracks. You get caught off guard. See, yeah, like I said, like with a lot of music, you'll get your snares on the 2 and 4, which works great. But then you run into Timbaland, for instance, and then you don't just get a 1 snare, 3 snare, but he'll come in with a drum pattern, and all of a sudden it's like boom, 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 ka, boom, boom, ka, and you're there with a normal, a normal pattern. That will you'll be shook the first time, but once you get the hang of it, you start to understand rhythms. Then you'll hear like, okay, so this snare is not falling on the 2 and the 4. But it falls right in between every time. And once you understand that, you can still make that work. Okay, hold on. I just lost my connection, I think. At least, hold on, let me see. This is still working. That is still live. Okay, so just found this out. So my phone lost the connection with the GoPro, but the GoPro is still live. So this is telling me that actually all the phone does is it gives the GoPro the information. The GoPro has its own connection to the network, and it's streaming. Because I just saw this in my screen, and I was like, oh no, that means the stream is about to freeze up. But that's not the case. Okay, that's pretty dope to know. So this was my first experiment using the GoPro to wirelessly stream using my phone. So basically all you do is use your phone to set up, and then the stream is just on. And yes, I can use the screen. The screen of the GoPro is just telling me it's still live. Cool. That's dope. That's dope. That's good to know. Does that mean I can also go to my restream chat here? See everything in one chat? That would be amazing. That would really help me out, so I don't have to switch between all of the different chats. That's kind of killing me right now. But until that point, I need to do that. I saw some spam on Twitch. I need to fix that actually, but yeah. Okay, Vest, so you said you're on the fence about the GoPro. Apparently it isn't true 60 FPS, but 30 FPS doubles up. I don't know, that might be the case. Like, I would actually, it was still on 60, but like for my normal streams, I set my cameras to 30 because that's what I'm using on OBS. Okay, now we lost the connection. Oh, it's back? Okay. Ooh, saw it go there for a sec. So I'm actually in OBS, I'm streaming 30, so that's what I would use on the cameras as well. So if you need 60 and that is not real 60, that's something to look into. I haven't really done that. There's a lot of things about GoPros that aren't great if you're looking for a great camera. There's a lot of reasons why not to get a GoPro, but for the DJ purposes, like I said, to have something that can always fit in your bag, something you can have, like I have it on a small tripod. I have the small Manfrotto Pixie tripods, which I absolutely love. I can bring one of these and the GoPro. That will always fit in my bag, and otherwise I'll carry that Pixie in my back pocket. I can set up my DJ set, and it only has to be like such a small, like let's say you put it a foot away from your DJ set, you can most likely get the entire set and yourself in the frame if you use the wide angle or the super view. So that it's super dope for that. And I'm using this in studio circumstances, so I don't have to worry about too many surrounding elements. The light is always going to be the same. I can get enough light in there. So I think for those purposes it's dope. And like the deal they have on this one right now on the GoPro site, to me was absolutely amazing. I'm looking at the phone for a second because I have to try to log into something. So excuse me for looking at my screen. But for in those situations, this works really well. There we go. Okay, so now I have the restream chat on my phone. So from now on, everyone on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and Periscope, I'm gonna get all of you in my one streaming chat, which is dope. Check 2, see if this is actually gonna go everywhere. There we go. That came in on Twitch. That came in on YouTube. Yes. All right. Since you're into R&B and rap, do you or would you recommend playing Eminem at a club? See, to me, those are weird questions. You should play Eminem in a club if you want to play Eminem in the club. It's as simple as that. Do I play a lot of Eminem when I DJ? No, I haven't played. I can't remember when the last time is I played an M joint in the clubs. I remember in the beginning, I played a lot of the Eminem joints in the club, like the Hi, My Name Is, the Real Slim Shady, stuff like that. I haven't played M in the clubs in years. I haven't been the biggest M fan. I still think it's one of the greatest MCs skill-wise. Just don't like a lot of the tracks. Like when I hear the albums, I'll always hear a couple of tracks that make me say like, ooh, that's dope. And the rest is just not my flavor, even though he is still super dope. I heard a couple of tracks on the last album. There was one I was like, okay, I gotta play this soon. So I actually will be playing this in a stream soon. But there's no rules to this. You can play what you want to play. So if you are a hip-hop R&B DJ and you love M, you can play M. So you shouldn't ask. I see this happen a lot. You shouldn't ask other DJs what you should play or if you can play it, because basically you can't just play whatever you want to play. All right, so I'm getting the newest questions here, I think. DJ Shan has a quick question. You said your computer died. Was it giving you any signs it was on its way out? And would you just get a new one ahead of time just to be safe? I wish I would have had that warning sign, but no, this one just died on me. So it died in the sense that it would constantly restart or not boot up for days and then boot up again one time. There is a big possibility that it's just the GPU that died, and that will cost me like $300 or $400 to fix. But we're talking about, if I'm not mistaken, it's a 2013 MacBook Pro. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to spend that much money to fix a computer that was already old. It could still handle my video edits, but I could tell, like, anytime I would render a video, that wasn't really great. Like, compared to what I do on my studio computer, if I have a video ready to render, I mean, I can hardly blink my eyes and the video will be done. So just to give you an example, like, I've done a couple of projects in the last month where I did a couple of videos on this Surface Book, one that I have here, this laptop, this loaner, and a similar project on the studio computer. It took like, I think 45 minutes to render on this computer. That took less than, I think, 3 or 4 minutes on my studio computer. So, and the MacBook Pro would have probably done it in like 25 minutes. So yeah, no, and certain programs won't even run on, if your computer gets too old, it can't run the latest operating systems, the latest software. So it was just time for that one to lay to rest. Yeah, Mixmaster G says the same thing. They're binary, and mostly usually they just die. So I mean, at a certain point you can tell that your computer is getting slower, but most of the times that is just something that can be fixed. It doesn't mean that your computer is too old. No, Vest, I said 3900, the X, not the 3950. Like, I thought about those two for a second. I'm gonna get the 3900 or the 3950. The price difference between the two was just a little bit too much for me, seeing what you get back for it. I mean, yes, the 3950 is more powerful, but you're paying a lot more for that. No, what I wanted to say is this GoPro actually had a great deal right now on the GoPro site, because I was looking on normal prices in stores for this 9, and I think they were all like $450, close to $500. And on the GoPro website, they offer it for $379, and you get an extra battery and a 46 gig micro SD card, plus a 1-year subscription to GoPro Plus. The reason they do that is they hope that you will, after that year, continue to use the subscription. I'll see if I do that. That subscription gives you like a ton of cloud storage, and you can even like automatically upload to the cloud, whatever. I don't even know if I'm going to use that, but $379 for this one makes it cheaper than getting an 8. So for me, that was a clear choice to go for this one. All right, so Gomedi, you had this question: what kind of interesting side attractions can a DJ present during his show? Could be lovely apart from visiting other DJs to play. So again, I have to add this, Gomedi, this is very important. You're focusing way too much on the side stuff. The side stuff is extra, but it's only extra if the main part, the fundamental part, is good. If you're not a good DJ yet, you can't cover that with bells and whistles. So you have to focus on that part first. And I mean, I can't judge you. I don't know how you are as a DJ. I don't know your level, you name it. But that's not something you should be focusing on. I hardly know any people who talk about DJs because they love their side attractions. You know, I mean, you have some of the big DJs that will have gimmicks like throwing pies in people's faces or whatever, you name it. But for most DJs, people do not check those DJs for their side attractions. They either check those DJs because they're really skilled DJs, or because they release good music, because they're good producers or have good ghost producers, or because they just play at the parties that people go to anyway, but they're not really checking the side attractions that much. Eli using a 2009 Mac Pro and it's still working fine. That's dope. Gary Brown, what's going on, man? You hearing popping coming from your speakers? Your levels are good, not distorted. DJ SRT 1000 is new. Speakers are new. I don't have anything on my audio. This is the microphone from the GoPro, and yes, it definitely had a lot of low end in it. So this is coming straight from that microphone. So for those who tuned in later, I thought that everything would be going through the phone, so I even connected my Zoom to the phone. Thought I could use that for the audio, but apparently that is not how this works. So there's nothing I can change about the audio. Yes, I'm sounding a little bit Barry Whitish right now, but I mean the levels are pretty okay, right? It's not like the audio is super loud, right? But I mean the levels are pretty okay, right? It's not like the audio is super loud, right? But I mean the levels. That sounds pretty good to me. That sounds pretty good to me. For coming straight out of a GoPro, that is. What a good editing software for Windows that are not Adobe Premiere. You could try DaVinci Resolve. They have a free version that offers you a lot of the features that are in the Pro version. So that is an option. Wave says Wondershare Filmora. I've heard about it, but I've never tested it. So I don't know a lot about it, but I've heard people talk about that. So yeah, Vest, that's a really good deal for GoPro, because like I said, I checked around and the normal prices were way higher than that. And yeah, 46 gig card to go with it, extra battery, all good. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you can do a lot with DaVinci Resolve. Like I even contemplated for a while, like, hey, maybe I'll just quit Adobe and go for that. But currently I'm too deep in that Adobe ecosystem, using Adobe Premiere, Photoshop, After Effects, Lightroom, Audition. There are alternatives for all of that, but having it in one thing, and I'm using the cloud as well. So whenever I'm in any of the apps, I can always access all of those Adobe files. I like the way it works. So yeah, that's pretty good. All right, everything in one app again. I love it. I actually am not going to go on for too long because I am at home. One is already in bed. I won't say sleeping because I don't know, but I'm not that far away from that room. And I don't want to go into whisper mode again because that doesn't feel comfortable to do. Do you use active self-powered speakers for your home setup? Both. So when I'm in the studio, I have a set of Yamaha NS10 speakers. Those are passive. So I have a Samsung amp that powers those speakers. That is one set. I don't use that for DJing, but when I'm working on music, I have my NS10s. And besides that, I have a set of Pioneer RM7s. And those are also studio reference speakers, but those are active. And I use those when I'm DJing because they just have, they have a bit of body. They have a bit of oomph to them. The the NS10s are just, yeah, not great for DJ speakers. That's not what they're made for either. So I have both. Therese, what's going on? Salute to you. Eli, that's the other one. Affinity. Affinity is it basically does what Photoshop does, but also a little bit what After Effects does, right? I mean, I know one guy, I forgot his last name. His name is Sam. He's on YouTube. He's also a Twitch streamer, but he does a lot of design work and makes crazy overlays also for big streamers. I know he uses Affinity, so I've seen him use that. Just never used it before. Hey, Machado, what's up, man? Pete Smith, what's going on? Salute to you. DJ Vest is using the poor man's version, shortcut. Okay. Loco Lopez, what's going on? Salute to you. THT, see you later. Yeah, I mean, there's other things. I mean, before, I remember the time when Adobe didn't have subscription models yet, and Adobe software was super expensive, and I needed something like Photoshop. I used to use the GIMP. I don't know if people remember that. That was like a free open source version of Photoshop called the GIMP. And it actually got the job done. It actually worked pretty well. So look, there's versions of photo editing software, video editing software for everything. Like I said, currently I'm just really loving the Adobe ecosystem. Even though I'm paying for it. I'm paying a reduced price though. I'm paying like an educational fee. And I also use all their mobile apps. So I do a lot of my editing for normal posts. I'll go to Photoshop and Lightroom on my phone as well. And I use Adobe Spark and a couple of others. So you do get a lot for the subscription, but it's still a monthly subscription. Okay, GIMP is still good. Dope, that's good to hear. Yeah, that I don't know how long ago that was. That was a long time ago I used that. T-Babs, you still have GIMP too? Go. Yeah, man, hey, if it works, it works. And I know for a fact that that worked. So, I mean, I know if I stopped using the Adobe software, there are solutions for all of that. Like for video editing, I would probably just dive into DaVinci Resolve. And I might get the GIMP for photos. Or I take a look at Affinity. Like I use After Effects, but not that much. But inside DaVinci Resolve, you have, I don't know what it's called, Fusion or something like that. They have basically an After Effects inside of there. And they also have an audio editing suite inside of DaVinci Resolve. It's like an all-in-one. Cool, now I got the chat to work, but I'm almost on my way out of here. I still haven't eaten yet. It is 9 o'clock here now. The curfew is officially started, so you can't go out now, but luckily I'm home. Deepak, what's going on, man? All the way from Nepal. Okay, Loco Lopez says Ubuntu Studio Edition, fully loaded and open source. Yeah, if you use Linux, that is, of course. Yeah, got you. Quick question, is DJ Superhero any good since I'm to subscribe just because of you? Funkalistic, please do not subscribe to Superhero DJs for me. So I'm not saying that their service isn't good. For those that are not familiar, Superhero DJs is an online, how should we call it? An online DJ tutorial source. You can get a subscription, and there's a bunch of videos in there from skilled DJs that do routines, and then they explain how they do their routine. So for me, I did one video in the early stages of Superhero DJs, and I explained how I did my Michael Jackson to crisscross jump routine. That's the only video that I have on there. So that's why I'm saying do not subscribe to them just for me, because it's only one video. Now they have a ton of videos from all sorts of DJs. So they do offer a lot of different tutorials for routines. I only have one video. So no Mad Life, that's the thing. I'm not in the studio now. I purposely do the Q&As from home now because of the curfew. Because on Monday I did my live stream, my mix live stream, Crates. I had to sleep in the studio. On Friday I'm doing Certified Bangers, mix in the studio. I'll have to sleep in the studio. So I was not going to spend the night there today. So that's why I'm at home right now, live streaming from a GoPro. I have to say this works pretty well. I like it, even though some people don't like the amount of bass in my voice. What I hear here on the computer actually sounds pretty damn good for a GoPro microphone. Now with this new GoPro, they also have like mods. So this only has USB-C now. So if I want to have HDMI, I have to get the media mod. That's something you attach to the GoPro, and then you have HDMI out, and you also have a microphone. I'm gonna get that media mod so I can also check how this sounds when you use that microphone, because now I'm just curious to know how that sounds. Also, when you use a deal on the GoPro site like I did, and this is not any affiliate type of thing, I just went there and bought it from the site. I have that GoPro subscription now, and that also gives you discount. So that media mod is normally, I think, 90, and I can get it for like 60. So that was just a dope deal. So yes, the GoPro is on Wi-Fi. Like at first I thought that the phone would be the streaming source, and it would just take the image from the GoPro. But actually the phone, the GoPro app, is only used to set up the stream, and the stream is just happening on the GoPro. So the GoPro is on the network, and it is streaming the image now. So that's pretty dope. So that's why the first hour and a half I didn't want to close the app. But now that I see that the GoPro is doing it by itself, I'm actually doing other stuff on the phone. So now I have my Restream app open, so I can see all of your messages in one place. So that's a learning experience for me for whenever I do this again. Funkalistic. You want to learn how to scratch. School of Scratch. Look it up on YouTube, School of Scratch. That is specifically for scratching, because Superhero DJs isn't even about scratching. It's a tutorial site for DJ routines. So they're showing you how they did their routine, but it's not even like a tutorial teaching you how to do all of the scratches and techniques. They're just breaking down their routine. Same thing with me. I broke down my routine. In that routine, I do certain scratches, but it's not like I'm explaining how to do the scratches. I just tell you like, okay, first I did this, then I had a cue point set here, then I started that, then I did a transform scratch, then I did this. So it's just a breakdown of routine. So check out School of Scratch. That is, yeah, that is a great source. Hey, DJ FTR, what's going on? Yeah, we feeling good. Locked in the house, lockdown and curfew. That's why I'm streaming from the house right now. But everything is good. Doing a lot of streaming, recording videos. So I actually just received the 2 CDJ 3000s. I have not had a chance to look at those and test those. So I finally got those in today, together with the S11. So most likely this Friday when I'm doing Certified Bangers, I think I'll be streaming and using the CDJ 3000s with the S11. Currently working with the Flex, still doing a couple of things with the S7 for a full review. So a lot of Pioneer stuff going on, but a lot of gear there. And I have a lot of other things I'm working on, new projects, beats, new stuff for Beat Source, all sorts of things. So it's going well, considering the circumstances, of course. T-Babs, will you be bringing out more scratch tutorials, learning the basics, but I'm getting confused with the many videos out there. So what I'm actually currently thinking about, I've done 7 parts of my scratch tutorial series, and I might do another part, even though I've already decided that I'm not gonna go into the crazy advanced scratches, simply because I don't even know if I know how to explain how to do those. Some of the more advanced scratches I just learned how to do them, but I can't really explain it. But the thing I'm thinking about now is actually doing breakdown videos of my latest Saturday sessions videos. In the Saturday sessions videos, I do a lot of different patterns, and Some of these patterns are basic. Some seem basic, but are actually a little more difficult. And I do want to make videos to work a breakdown some of those patterns. Papo, that's a good suggestion as well. Brolic Army, that's Rob Swift's online school. I don't know, does he also do like specific scratch classes? Because that's what I didn't know. I know he does like mix classes. And School of Scratch is really specifically scratching. But of course, Rob Swift is one of those legends who has the knowledge. So that is definitely something to look at as well. Did you use, let's see, Media Explorer System wants to know, did you use TTM somehow, or could you recommend it for beginners? I've never used it. I think I understand what you're talking about with the turntable transcription method, like writing out the scratches. I've never done it, never used it. I've only seen it, I think I've only seen that actually in the Scratch documentary, but I have no experience with it. Yeah, the lockdown has been going on for quite a while, and I don't mind the lockdown too much. I mean, I know what it's for, so that's more important to me than having access to all stores, especially since we're living in an era where you can order a lot of stuff online. The curfew is a little bit more difficult because it is a restriction, especially when I do my work in the studio. If I'm not done by 8:30, I can't finish my work, or I have to stay the entire night. So that is a little bit tricky. But beyond that, it's all good. Ilst, thank you for following. Hey, you're getting the Omni turntable. Oh, that's another thing. I have the Omni. I still have to do a video about it. Yeah, I like it, but I have to give it a good test run still. Hey, FTR, that's priorities for sure. I hear you. Styles Johnson, yes. If I have to name a date now, I would say March. I'm aiming at March. Definitely before the summer. That is the one thing, the DJ course, before summer. I'm actually, like, the rollout of this year is basically, I'm starting to get back into what I really feel is important, and that is consistency. So consistently releasing content. The live streaming is a big part of that because that is a steady factor. I just have those days. I can't postpone it. It's then. So I'm there every Monday. I'm there every Wednesday, twice a month on Friday, and every Sunday. Saturday sessions every 2 weeks. So number 3 was released just now. And in between, you're going to start to see more videos. So getting accustomed to that workflow, even though it's become a little more difficult because of lockdowns and curfews and homeschooling. My youngest is starting school again next week. The oldest isn't yet. So it is not the normal schedule yet, but I'm just getting into that rhythm. As soon as that rhythm is rolling, it's going the way it should go, then I can finally get back to that course. But the last year, 2 years has been just, yeah, a little bit of a mess. And I can't blame it on the pandemic, even though that has made things different. But I'm getting back on that track, and this consistency is like the main goal for me this year, getting all of that in order, and that will get me in the workflow I need to be in. So before the summer, March is what I'm aiming at. So yes, that is still coming, 100%. Yeah, I talked about Scratch Bastard on Sunday. I forgot the name as well. It was something like Scratch Academy or something like that. DJ 6, if you're caught out after curfew, I think you get a fine. I think it's like 95 euros, something like that. But it's just not worth it for me to even allow myself to get in a situation like that. Plus, I don't want to spend 95, but I don't even want to end up in that situation at all. Hey, we got Will Garcia, man. I haven't seen that name in a while. Salute to you, man. BK up in here. And you're on Facebook. Okay, got you. Let's see. Have you had a chance to hop on the Rain 1? No, I haven't. Not yet. Like I said, I don't have one. The audio stores haven't been open because of the lockdown, so I haven't had the chance to try it out. As soon as stores open up, I'll be testing it. Okay, DJ Shan just said he or she lost audio. Do you still have audio? Why am I asking? I can check right here. Yeah. We still have audio. Let's see what's happening here. Okay. FTR, yeah, that's cool to hear. Like there is, when it comes to the scratching, there is just a difference between the feel of turntables and a controller. It just is. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Will Garcia, I used to see you in the comments on YouTube, right? And I'm talking years ago already. 100%. Okay. So 3 people had a little audio issue for a second. But we're back now. Okay, cool. Yeah, there are certain options with exception letters. I just don't know if that counts in my position. I need, like, certain people have jobs that just require them to be out later. I mean, for instance, if you're a nurse at a hospital and you have a shift until 11, you're allowed to be on the streets to go home, of course, you know. But just to say, like, hey, I need to be in the studio to record a new video, even though that is part of, like, my living, my income, I don't know if I can get away with that. This is still available in the store. So it's djtlm.com/shop. And while I'm saying that, I'm actually looking because I know I've said the wrong thing a couple of times. Bang. Waiting for my laptop. Yeah. So that's djtlm.com/shop. You can find the scratch shirt there. The Share the Knowledge shirt is there. The Passion Practice Patience. The DJ TLM TV shirt. And Do You Even Stream? I think that's what I have in there right now. All right. See, I forgot to turn off that timed message from Stream Elements. All the music that's played during this stream is available on BeatSource. Yeah, that's not for today. Okay, reminder to me, turn that off. I will be doing that again next month, by the way. So that's going to be one of the monthly things. So every last Monday of the month will be a Crates All Vinyl edition. Every first Monday of the month will be a BeatSource edition. I have a lot of fun doing that. It's a totally different concept. So with the one, I'm doing strictly vinyl, which has its own limitations, but also flavor. And with the next one, I'm not playing any music from my computer. It's all coming from BeatSource, which feels a little bit different than using your own crates. But I had a lot of fun doing it. And this was without any preparation. For the next one, I'm actually going to go really deep through the beat source site and actually make folders. I was gonna do that on Sunday, and right after the stream, I had to do different work, so I didn't get around to actually making more folders. But it's fun. It's fun to have something to look forward to have a concept in mind. I'm also going to be doing a Crates episode soon focused around one sample, one song. I did that, I think, a month ago. I had an episode where the first hour I only played songs that used samples from one particular song. You have a bunch of those songs out there that have been used like 50 or 100 or 150 times. So there's plenty of tracks to choose from. So that will be coming again. DJ Alyssa Divine, salute to you. Thank you for following. So Will, you're streaming on Facebook with music? Is that working? Like I've tried. I stopped trying because my streams would always get cut. So yeah, hit me up. Send me a message when you stream, and I will tune in. If the time is in any way doable for me. I mean, you're in Brooklyn, so you're 5 hours behind us here. So if you're streaming in the evening, that's going to be like deep in the night for us here. Yeah, Alyssa, I appreciate that. Thank you. Nevik, what's going on? All the way from Kenya. Okay, you have your first DJing job interview in February. Okay. Wow. If I can coach you on questions to expect. To be honest, I have never had like a job interview for a DJ gig, so I have no experience with that at all. Honestly, I have no idea at all what people would ask. So for everyone in the chat, has any of you ever had like an interview for DJ gigs? If so, share some knowledge in the chat. Let us know what can be expected from that. Let's see. Streaming on Facebook is tricky. Depends on the hour. I stream in the morning and it's working. Okay, that's dope. Some people say it's like cut after 40 minutes. Facebook is cutting music streams but pushing gaming streams hard. Yeah. Hey, what's going on? Is it DJ Ithon or Ithon? I don't know. But salute to you. Appreciate that. Everything good over here. Streaming from the house. Staying indoors right now. Yeah, I mean, Twitch has a better feel right now. They have the community vibe. Mixcloud is the future. It's going to be a while. They just moved out of their beta phase because they started when they weren't really ready, but everyone was at home and they just saw like, hey, DJs are live streaming now. We have to let them know we're doing it, even though they weren't really ready. They're now out of beta, and I know that this year they're going to start adding features that we're used to in Twitch, but they're the only ones doing it legal, doing it the right way. You can stream your music there without any worries, so you won't get copyright issues. The artists you play will actually get paid. So overall, that is how it should be, and at a certain point, all DJs will move there, especially if Twitch continues to still be the way it is now or become more difficult when it comes to copyrights. But now most of the DJs are still on Twitch, so it will be a while before that move happens. Yeah. Yeah, searching samples is dope. 100%. You are a father now? Yeah, I've been a father for 13 years now. Yeah, and Gomedi, knowing your library or knowing your music is super important. It makes it so much easier. If you're playing out, like I play freestyle, I don't have a prepared set, I'll play a song, and if I get a certain reaction because I know my music, I automatically start to have ideas like, oh, okay, I'm going to play this song, or, oh, they're feeling this vibe, let me get this song. If you don't know your collection, it's hard. And I mean, I've done that a couple of times, that I had like some digital crates filled with new music that I hadn't really checked yet. It doesn't feel comfortable. You see all the titles, but you have no idea how the song sounds. So you have to load them in, listen, like, no, this won't fit. You have to look on, search for new songs. So knowing your collection is super important. Yeah, FTR, like I was saying, like Twitch is just the best now with community, but that can grow on Twitch. Especially, I know they want to do stuff like, I think they want to do stuff that's similar to like rating and hosting and everything like that. It's something that will have to grow, but unless DJs start to move over there, their audience won't join. So it's going to be a longer process, but that's why I'm streaming on Mixcloud as well now. I used Mixcloud for my mixtapes in the past, for mixes, and I already have a following there, but like the community there isn't there yet. I can tell when I'm streaming, like the chat stays pretty quiet. You have a couple people in there doing all the chatting, but it's not the same as it is on Twitch or like with this on YouTube. Andrew Garza, salute to you. What's going on? Mixmaster G, you think Twitch will find a way with the copyright issues? I don't know. How do you think they'll do that? Because there's not really tricks to do that. Right now, they just pull an Apple to strong arm the industry. I mean, I understand that you have like a super large company behind Twitch. I just don't know if it's interesting enough for them. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, if they can fix it, that would be dope as well. Do you know of a what up, Luna? Salute. Do you know of a DJ Geek Squad in NYC? I'm just starting out, and for some reason my RAIN interface isn't read by the Serato program. Well, I'm not in NYC, and I'm definitely not familiar with if there's any geeks in your area. You might find a Geek Squad right here in the chat though. But your RAIN interface isn't okay. So you've connected your interface to the computer, but Serato says that it's not seeing it. That could be a driver issue. So are you on a Windows or a Mac? And that is something you should check. I don't know which RAIN interface you're using. That is important, because if you're using the RAIN SL1 interface and you're using Serato DJ, they don't work together. That only works with Serato Scratch Live, so that could be an issue. So there's a bunch of options there. So let me know which RAIN interface are you using, and what computer are you using. All right, so Chris International says, never been interviewed for a gig, but for gigs like private parties and weddings, people want to be confident in knowing you'll play appropriate music for their crowd. Yeah, that's very, very good. Not just what you want to hear, regardlessly of people in the room being into it or not. Play what you like, but do it for the crowd. They might ask to see if that is the case with you. True, 100%. Yeah, the thing is, like, talking about the job interview, you should at least be very aware of what normally goes on at that venue. You're doing a job interview, the DJ at a certain venue, I assume. Are you familiar with that venue? Do you know what type of parties normally are hosted at that venue? What type of people attend? That is important knowledge to have, because they need to know that you're aware of what's being expected of you. If you know what type of people come there, what type of music they normally play, then you should also know if you're going to be able to do that. So that is the only thing I can basically think of right now. AK-47, what's going on, man? Salute. What's is in here? By the way, check out the real DJ AK-47 on Twitch as well. I haven't seen your streams in a while, but I haven't seen any streams in a while. I need to take a moment to check some more streams, but make sure y'all check AK-47 stream. Hawaii's infamous. Thank you for the follow. And for those tuning in, I'm streaming from home today, not from the studio. For a Q&A like this, it's not really an issue. We don't need to have equipment and all of the dope background. But most importantly, I'm doing this because of the curfew we have going on here. So if I would have done this in the studio, it's past 9 now. That would have meant that I would have to spend the entire night in the studio. Yeah. Sa Cash or SA Cash, can you help me with something? I don't know. Let me know what. I just question Twitch's commitment to performance music streams, especially like DJ streams. Their handling of their music library for gaming streams was conflicting and a bit sus. Yeah. Salute to Harris, by the way, from Stream Beats. That dude came up with the master plan right there. It's not interesting for DJs, but for gamers out there. He just set up a service that offers you royalty-free music, and he has a bunch of playlists on there that gamers can use. He has like 5 different genres, over 600 tracks, and those streamers will use his playlists. So that music is just on Spotify and Apple Music. They'll play those playlists because they're royalty-free, so they won't get copyright issues. But because it's his music, he does get paid from the streaming services. And I think he's getting like 1 million plays a day. Crazy. But for us DJs, that's not, it's not really for us, because we need to play the music that we play. On Twitch, it's still working. We still all do it. I just delete it right after I stream. I don't leave the replay up, don't leave clips up. 85% of the replay is muted anyway, so that doesn't really help. So yeah. Aloha to you as well. Okay, so Luna, you got an SL3. Yeah, no, so that should work. That should really work. The only thing I can think of now is a driver issue. I don't know what else. Like a driver issue could be the thing. Sometimes it won't recognize equipment if the driver isn't installed. Besides that, I don't know. Watson wants to know, what type of needles do you use? I'm currently still using my S120s, my Autophone S120s. That's what I used on last week on Monday during the all vinyl stream. And I hope to get my hands on the new vinyl needles by Autophone. They have that new line. I want to test those out, see how they work. Now, if you're still on the Shure M447s and you need replacements, you should check out Jaiko. It's a Japanese brand, and they make needles that work with that. Hey, AK-47, you have support from us Dutchies 100%. So salute all the way from Amsterdam. Yeah, so Luna, you're using with Windows, and that's perfectly fine. Just to be clear, this is not about you need a Mac for DJing. Like all the live streams that I've done in the past 4 months or 5 months, however long I've been doing it now, that's all been on a Windows laptop. That's not the issue. But I know with Windows, drivers are a big deal. If you don't have the right driver, a lot of times it won't recognize hardware. So that is something to look into. Just see if the driver for the SL3 is installed, and then reconnect and see if it will recognize it then. Question for you: have you ever seen the Virtual DJ 2021? That is something that's on my list. I want to check it out because I see that it's definitely full-fledged with a lot of features, and I want to try it out. So that is on my list, but I haven't tried it yet. 3 for Fresh, what's going on? Thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. Leah Chanel from the UK. What up, neighbor? Good to see you. FDR, yeah. Harris is a great resource for streamers, 100%. And through his channel, I also know Sam, who used the Affinity software. I don't know him personally, but I've seen him talk about the Affinity software. Yeah, for gamers, a service like Streambeats is essential. Like a lot of those gamers were dealing with that issue too. Like they have music on in the back, and now all of a sudden they're getting those takedown claims. It's horrible though. I still didn't turn the stream elements off. All right, whatever. I'll leave that on. DJ Martin wants to know, why is the chirp scratch so hard? Practice, practice, practice. And very important, start slow. A lot of y'all want to start doing everything super fast. Like you want to start doing the chirp, and the first thing you do is this. And I know when I was practicing, at a certain point, I could do that for like a couple of seconds, get that fast, like, and then after a couple of seconds, that coordination goes, and then the chirp isn't sounding like the chirp anymore. So you have to start slower, get used to that movement, and then at a certain point, you can go faster and faster and faster. But it takes time. It takes time. And I said DJ Martin from Portugal, or is it DJ Martin? DJ Martin Portillo. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Oh, no, is that Portugal? No, that's Mexico. My bad. Or am I messing up flags now? I think I'm messing up flags. My bad. Let's see. Actually got a tech question for anyone in the chat with the Omni turntable right here. You need to install the batteries for charging. I've seen some with different ampage and capacities. Ooh, I honestly haven't done that. I just connected it with USB. So I just connect, the last time I used it, I just had it connected to a port on my PC. My front panel on my PC has one USB port that is especially for charging. Had it connected to that, and I've had it connected to a power bank once, so I haven't used anything else. No, so I don't know. Check your connections and cables. Had to buy new cables, kept losing connection between the mixer and the computer. Luna, that is, I mean, I think this is aimed at you, that comment. That is one thing that has happened to me once. Make sure you do try this with a couple of different USB cables as well. So look for the driver, but also try a different cable. I remember 3 years ago at ADE, Amsterdam Dance Event, I was doing a seminar for Pioneer, and I was going to use their, I think I was using an S9, their PLX 1000s, and we couldn't get it to work. It would not work on my laptop. We tried a different laptop, a different MacBook Pro from someone from Pioneer, and turned out the USB cable that I was using probably broke on the inside. Tried a different cable, and then everything worked. So that is also something to check. Vest says he also struggled with the chirp. Yeah, it's something, I mean, I can do the chirp, but doing it for a long time is still something. At a certain point, at first I can do it without thinking. At a certain point, I need to start focusing to continue to get it. I remember listening to DJ Revolution, like back in the days, and he would do that, and he could do it like fast and super, super long. Always wanted to learn how to do it that long, but that's just practice. Sal Johnson wants to know about the click orbits. Yeah, I think I'm not the one for that. Some of those scratches I do without even knowing that I'm doing them, but I couldn't explain it. Okay, so Vest, the crab is impossible for you to do? Again, with the crab, it's something you need to start really basic. So a lot of people, when they start out, let me just grab this. Okay. A lot of people, when they start out, the first thing they start to do is go absolutely crazy like a madman. In the beginning, just try to move back and forth and just try to get like a couple of taps for each finger. Just work on that, just getting that motion instead of trying to get more. So the same way you can tap on the table, do this. If your fingers can do that, tap, 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 do that, but to the fader. Your thumb is against the fader, and then just do that. Start with that, just slow forward, bring it back. Don't go for, I see some DJs, I just saw a video, a DJ asked me for his opinion, or basically tagged me, and he was moving his hand back and forth, and that fader hand was like going absolutely mad. I couldn't hear a single crab because the movement wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. That was just like a frantic hand moving back and forth, like that wasn't it. So some people just feel that they have to start doing this like crazy. Start slow. Just go forward, bring it back until you get that tick, tick, tick. Like you really tick that fader every time and build from there. Slow, 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 slow. DJ Runry, what's going on? Steve Ott, what up? So I don't have a question. Mad props. That's what I do this for. Just that. Enjoying the crate sessions. Yeah, me too. Live streaming is my fuel right now. The DJ, the mixes, I mean, I love doing this, but the mixes, streaming, doing exactly what I want to do, that's my fuel right now. That vinyl edition got me bugging out. Like I said, I just spent the entire weekend sorting out all my vinyl. I ran into so many tracks that I haven't heard in years. I might even do some spontaneous extra streams just because it got me so hyped. So loving it. Rain 72 or Pioneer S11. That choice is up to you. Both are great. Both are absolutely great. If I had to pick one, I'm picking the S11 because I prefer Pioneer. Pioneer is my go-to. I have the S9, I have the 72. I prefer the S9, but I really like the screen on the 72. So I also love to play with the 72. S11 is a S9 with updated features and a screen. For me, that is perfection right there. But you can't go wrong with a 72. So pick the one that fits your needs best. Maybe you feel more comfortable with one compared to the other. Compare the prices. That's it. Audio source, what's going on? Quick question, which sound is better for vinyl, 72 or the S9? Ooh, that is a test I have yet to do. So if you check my YouTube channel, I just did a preamp comparison between the S7 and the S9. And the S7 phono preamps are significantly better than the ones on the S9. So if you're playing vinyl, the S7 is better than the S9. But I have not compared my 72 to my S9, so that is something I can actually do, but I currently don't know. But I was surprised that if you haven't seen the video, you can check the video. You can do a test, but you can also see it. I have like a spectral analyzer and everything, so you can see the difference as well. There's more high frequencies missing in the phono preamps on the S9. When you get to that 15 to 20K range, those are high frequencies. They're just lacking on the S9. It's like a real roll off when you get to those frequencies, and when you compare the two, you can hear it. So you get more clarity out of the S7, which for vinyl is pretty important when you're playing vinyl, especially if you're playing with digital DJs. You want to have some clarity in there. It just opens up the track a little bit more. I haven't tested that with the 72, but since I'm doing more with vinyl, I will test that for sure. I struggle on the crowd with my thumb. It's too heavy. I could do the movement. I practice the movement with a plastic card. Okay, so you have a heavy thumb, so you keep that crossfader basically too closed, and you're tapping, but it's not opening. Yeah, that's still practice. And yeah, I don't know if you can practice that with a card, really. Yeah, practice it with the fader, I think. Dope, Runry. That's dope. Love it. Gomedi, you're still coming back to the side attractions. What is your obsession with side attractions? Did you see certain DJs play and they had side attractions that you thought like, wow, this makes the show so much better? Because again, side attractions are really so not important. I mean, I've seen plenty of DJs that would bring dancers or bring a musician and whatever, but if they're playing, I don't want to say garbage, but if they're not DJing well, it doesn't matter how many dancers and fireworks you bring. Of course, you can always look at it. There's things you could do. You could have like a light show. You could have fireworks if it's allowed. You could have dancers. You could have, like I said, musicians or whatever. There's things, but it's all side. So maybe I'm the wrong person to ask. I'm not into the side attractions. Now, when it comes to streaming, for instance, the music is the most important thing. Me having fun is the most important thing to me. That's why I'm streaming. But it's all about the music. On top of that, because I know I have that part covered, I'm getting more comfortable again doing it. So I will improve every time I stream. I will improve on the music side as well, on the DJing side. But after that, I start to look at production value. So now I want to make sure, like I did, that I have certain angles, that the picture quality is a certain quality. First of all, the audio quality, that needs to be right. So then I start to look at overlays and stuff like that. That is all extra. It starts with the stream, once with the music. Once that part is working, then I'll take a look at the rest. And then I do value the extra production, but that is secondary. Yeah. Doesn't matter what mixer you use with Serato DJ Pro. I have the Numark M6 along with the SL3. No, it doesn't really matter because you have your SL3 to unlock Serato. So that will make Serato work. So with that, you could use any mixer. So it doesn't matter. So if the M6 is working for you, then that is perfect because your SL3 will unlock Serato. Carl, what's going on? What record have you played more than any other, if it's possible to recall? Whew. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Look, you have your go-to songs that will work. Like hip-hop and R&B has been my main thing for the 27, 28 years that I've been playing. So certain songs, there's going to be a list of songs that will have a higher play count than others. I don't think there's one specific song though. I mean, I know there's a song that I've performed more than any other song, and that's because I've been touring with Brainpower for 23 years now. In 2002, he had a ridiculous hit here in the Netherlands, in Belgium, and since then, we've basically done that song during every show we've done. Now, in our entire span of time, we've done over 3,500 live shows. We've probably done that track, that one hit song. He's had multiple hits, but the biggest hit, we've performed that song live multiple thousands of times. So that is a lot. But that's not DJing in the club. Hype man, DJ Kelly Kel, what's going on? That's great to hear. I appreciate you letting me know. I really do. Martin wants to know where you can get the instrumentals in my videos. So if you take a look at my Saturday sessions videos, for instance, I just dropped one today. All of the beats that I use are my beats, and those are all available on my SoundCloud. So if you go to soundcloud.com/DJ TLM, I have multiple playlists there, so you can find my podcast there. It's on all streaming platforms, but it's also on SoundCloud. But I also have a Saturday Sessions playlist. I have a Beats and Scratch Tools playlist, and all of those beats can be downloaded there for free. So soundcloud.com/DJ TLM. I'm with FTR right there. If you're looking for like a side attraction, get a pet tiger booth with an actual tiger. That's a showstopper. Yes, 100%. And while you're at it, build a shark tank around the DJ booth with real tiger sharks in there. Now, we're just kidding, but I mean, yeah, that will be dope. Another attraction idea, a tattoo booth on the side. Get inspired by DJs and tattoo them there. Wow. The big bass makes shaky hands. That would be terrible. All right, so cool. Steve Ott says, when it comes to the heavy thumb or vest, you probably already read it, but I realized that if I keep my wrist low and my thumb straight, it helps a lot. You could take a look at your hand position. That might help to put less pressure on it. But Gomedi, for real, if you're prepping for a show right now, please just, for real, I mean this, focus on your set. Focus on your music. Like if you're preparing a set, I don't prepare sets, I play freestyle, but if you're preparing a set and you're actually sorting out the music, figuring out what you're going to play when, if that is what you mean by prepping a show, focus on that. The side stuff is really not that important. But anyway, you're prepping for a show. I don't know where you're staying at, but do you have like, is everything open? Do you have normal shows there again? Like, is it a club gig? What type of gig are you doing? YSM, what's going on? Do you have one particular sample that's your favorite? No, not really. I don't use a lot of samples, especially when I DJ. Like for scratching, the obvious Oz and Fresh are always available. It's probably the sounds I've used the most for scratching, but there's not one particular thing though. All right, so it is almost 10 here in Amsterdam. I am going to cut it now because I said like close to an hour ago that I have one kid that's already in bed, and actually the other one should be in bed now too. I want to go say goodbye before he goes to bed. Make sure you greet your kids, you talk to your kids every day. So I want to make sure I give him that little dap before he goes to bed. So I'm going to cut this stream. I'm going to be back here on Friday on Mixcloud and Twitch with certified bangers. That's 9 p.m. CET. Check your local time. And then I'll be back on Sunday with Plug It In, where I'm sharing my screen so you can watch me as I work. And I'm here every Monday with Crates, my weekly mix show. So Mixmaster G, everyone in here, YSM, Jules from Belgium, salute. And everyone else, FTR, Luna, AK-47, Gomedi, Steve Ott, Martin, Audio Source, Carl, Runry, and whoever else, Eli, whoever else is still in here. Thanks for joining me on this first test streaming live from a GoPro, which I think can be definitely named a success. Even though this means I'm streaming without any overlays, but hey, I'm at home. This is what I chose to do. Looks pretty good, sounds pretty good. So I'm happy with that test. And you'll see me here soon. Go check out my latest Saturday Sessions video on YouTube. If you're into the scratching, DJ Cliff, salute to you as well. I'll see y'all soon. Now I gotta find out, actually, while we're at it, how do you end the stream from your GoPro when you're not connected anymore? because I don't know if I can just hit this and make it end. I don't even know if my front screen is also touch. No, it isn't actually, or at least I can't change that. So I'm gonna have to see if I can connect to it again. Otherwise, I can actually cut it using the dashboard in Restream. There you go. I have my connection back. That means I can now end the stream here. All right. Salute to all of you. Thanks for tuning in. I hope I added some value, and you know where to find me at DJ TLM everywhere except on YouTube. That's